Hello everybody, today I'm here to bring you a different type of video. Judging by the title, you can already tell, I'm here to bring you my top 5 of spring 2015 of anime. Now, I want to do a brief disclaimer here and just say this real quick before I begin my top 5. This is my top 5, so of course my top 5 is going to be very different from everyone else's. It's just personally my preference, and when I think of top 5, it's usually just the person's favorites or what gave them the most entertainment. That my top 5 is based on my entertainment. So even though if I don't mention, let's say, any other series, I don't mention this top 5, it doesn't mean the series is bad. It just means that I just found more enjoyment from these series I'm going to mention. But like I said, it does not mean the series I don't mention is bad. They're still damn good. There's quite a bit of series that are really good from this anime season, but I can't choose them all. I can only choose the top 5, sadly enough. So, I'm just basing this on my entertainment, me personally just on my entertainment. And I guess you could kind of consider this as a recommendation. Like, this might be a recommendation video for you Chibits as well. I'm going to try to keep the spoilers down to minimum, as close as possible, down to next to 0, because as I said, I'm going to try to keep this like a top 5 recommendation. Like, you know, this is my top 5, but it's kind of more of like a recommendation what I liked from this anime season, because I know not everybody watches every single anime from every anime season, and they constantly ask me, okay, so what should I watch from this season? And I get asked a lot, and so hopefully this might help out some that have yet to start some of these series. So I'm going to start from number 5 and work myself down to number 1. I want to say it once again, if your favorite anime from this spring 2015 is not on this, please forgive me. Also, sequels and core 2s will not be a part of this top 5. For instance, series like JoJo, to Gintama, to Baby Step Season 2, to, you know, Fate Stay Night Core 2, none of those series are going to be in this top 5, because technically I can't really count them since they're a Season 2, and also they carried over from previous seasons, even though, yeah, let's just not even get into that. Just the point is, this top 5 will contain no Season 2s, because like I said, it's kind of more of a recommendation top 5. So anyways, number 5 of this anime season, Yamada and the 7 Witches. By far, one of the most shocking anime series I have watched from spring 2015. Like, I walked into that series expecting myself to hate it. I expected myself to hate Yamada and the 7 Witches. I really did. Because the theme of it, kind of, when I read the description, was that it was going to be kind of like a harem, ecchi harem series, and I'm not a big fan of those, and so I decided to give it an attempt and a watch, because I promised you Chibis I would, and what I would watch for spring 2015, and I gave it a shot. Little did I know, Yamada and the 7 Witches really takes it up a notch with some really quirky characters, along with a great usage of supernatural elements, like, you know, body swapping, to mind control, to, you know, I guess making it to where people fall in love with you through a kiss, just different things like that. If you don't know what Yamada is about, it's a series that's kind of about 7 witches, obviously from the title. Yamada is surrounded by 7 witches, and he's trying to discover each identity of the 7 witches, and at the exact same time, our main female character has the ability to swap bodies with our MC. For instance, she can swap bodies back and forth through kissing. So, that's a brief description on Yamada, a really great series. I know none of these series I'm going to mention are going to be completely done at the moment, like they're not done yet, but I'm pretty much certain what I've enjoyed majority of the time when I've come through watching from this anime season, so I'm just letting you know right now, I recommend Yamada. It's been a very solid series. Even though the anime adaptation is rushed compared to the manga, it's still a very damn good series I would recommend for you all to watch. That's coming from a person that doesn't usually like rushed anime, like straight up. So I'm just giving you that recommendation. Yamada and the 7 Witches, on point series of this spring 2015 anime season. Number 4. Now, this one right here, I think it's fairly obvious that some of you probably expected this series to be on the top 5, but some of you might be shocked to see it maybe this low. I want to say number 4, Dungeon Girl, or is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Now, as I've said many times throughout my course of reviewing, I know the series is nothing too original. It's a series that isn't, you know, I guess, something brand new that brings something new to the table. But there's something about it that is very entertaining and gives you just so much to enjoy week after week. And it gives you a really cool character, Belle and Hestia. It's kind of like a mix. If, like, SAO was turned into a little bit of a better first season, that's kind of what, you know, Dungeon Girl is. Like, it's a really good series. It straight up is. Like, the main plot of it, it's where this tower appeared and gods descend from the heavens and they make their own guilds or familia. And they take on disciples or whoever, like adventurers for instance, and Belle, or MC, wants to become an adventurer. So he joins the familia of Hestia and he goes into the dungeon trying to grow stronger and level up and stuff like that. And eventually leads him into troubles and he levels up and stuff like that. I'm not trying to spoil, I'm trying to keep spoiler free as much as possible. Point is, Hestia is greatness. Best girl, one of the best girls of spring 2015, if I had to really say, and all the Hestia fan arts to die for, like, fucking A. Like, there's just so much Hestia fan art. But, back on point, Dungeon Girl, if you're looking for a series that is not too serious, but very entertaining, you might like Dungeon Girl. It's a pretty cool series. It's pretty damn nice. Now, moving to number 3 of this top 5. Now, I have to say, this one, it was kind of hard to choose and, you know, choose which one I wanted to put in number 3 or number 2. Like, number 3 and number 2, very fucking hard. Like, it was really hard to choose which one I wanted over the other because I loved them equally. Like, all these anime I love equally, but I mean, it was really hard to choose number 3, number 2, and number 1, like, because they were just so damn close. So, number 3 would be, you ready for this? Arslan, the heroic legend of Arslan. If you have not started this series, I completely recommend Arslan. It's a shonen series, but it has a really good setup. Like, I mean, the way the MC is, our MC, Arslan, he is a prince. And it's kind of similar to Akatsuki no Yona. Like, if any of you that are watching this video, and you watched Akatsuki no Yona from the last anime season, from winter 2015, we all know how great Akatsuki no Yona was. Yona as a main female character, she was fucking badass. Just imagine Akatsuki no Yona, but instead of Yona being the main character, imagine Arslan as the main character, but it's more orientated as a shonen. If you get my point. Like, just change it from Yona to Arslan and kind of change it just a little bit with medieval type stuff with slavery and Christianity and stuff like that, and you got Arslan. But it's very similar to Akatsuki no Yona. So if you're looking for a series that's slightly similar to Akatsuki no Yona because you're looking for something that will fill that gap after the lack of the anime, you might like Arslan. So number 2, which probably is going to shock a lot of you. It's going to fucking make your mouth drop because I bet you all expected this to be number 1. Ore Monogatari, number 2. Number 2 of my top 5. Ore Monogatari, it really is self-explanatory. It's a romance series made by Studio Madhouse. If you know Studio Madhouse, they're famous for making Hunter x Hunter. I think they've also made Death Note. They made Death Parade very recently. I mean, they made a lot of good anime in recent times. Like, they've been on point quite a bit in recent years. And they're also going to be making One Punch Man later this year. And so, I think Studio Madhouse is well known enough to just warrant a watch in of itself. I mean, even if you're not a big fan of romance, shoujos, or shonen, or whatever, if you're just not a fan of romance series, it's still worth a watch if you like Studio Madhouse's previous work, because the amount of detail and effort put into Ore Monogatari is definitely stunning. The animation quality to the characters, to some of the scenes, are so enjoyable, and it makes your heart just flutter out of your fucking chest. And I mean, definitely a contender for the best romance of 2015. It's definitely a good contender for 2015's best romance, just from what Studio Madhouse has done, and it's going to be carrying over into summer season, so it's not even close to being done. So it's going to be like a 24-25 episode romance series, which is bad fucking ass. So start that Ore Monogatari if you're looking for a very good romance that is done by Studio Madhouse in some great quality. So number 1, I think you all know what number 1 is going to be now, since I haven't said it yet. Food Wars. Shokugeki no Souma. Food Wars is a series I thought I was going to hate, and I was going to despise. I really thought I was going to hate Food Wars because it had so much excess fan service. But when I saw how the studio that's currently making Food Wars took it upon themselves to showcase foodgasms like they did, along with, you know, giving enough fan service for both genders, for male and female watchers, it made me actually respect the studio. Because usually when I'm coming into watching a series, usually it's just the guys getting the fan service, you know, with big breasts, boobs, and stuff like that. And usually the women get shafted. And that's kind of why a lot of people liked Free. Because it was a rarity in the anime community or anime industry. Because Free was kind of meant for the ladies. And so Food Wars is meant for both genders, but it's not just that. It's a cooking manga. It's like, what if Iron Chef was a anime? That is what Food Wars is. What if Iron Chef just turned into an anime? And that is what you get. It is pretty much self-explanatory after I said something like that. I've enjoyed it from start to finish so far from what I have seen. It has not had a down episode at all. Like, it continues to rise up in quality and entertain me week by week, and the characters are fucking greatness. So if you have yet to start Food Wars and you're looking for a different type of anime series that's not something normally people watch, for instance like a food anime, give it a shot. You'll definitely like it. So give me your thoughts in the comments below. How'd you feel about this top 5? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What is your top 5 of spring 2015? Just go off and share it. I mean, what is your top 5? Please be safe. Chibi out.